Well, it's Christmas time once again. Cold. Freezing, in fact. And if you're out here in the Midwest, I think you feel my pain. Almost as cold as an iceberg. If you're the Titanic, then this video will sink you 20,000 leagues under the sea. You ever want to flex your JoJo knowledge on people? Welcome to the JoJo Iceberg. Since there's been a lot of newer people checking out my channel recently, I thought this would be an excellent video to tackle. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Shuckmeister, and I cover memes, science, and stop motion, mostly related to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but I do analysis videos on Konosuba, other games, manga, movies, and anime too. Thanks for being here on this cold winter's day, because I feel like we can warm up our brain juices. This is a great video for people who have seen that strange JoJo meme pop up in their feed, and also for the most dedicated of fans to enjoy. So I was sent this meme a while back, and it originated 3 months ago on Twitter from Morgan, all socials linked below, about the different layers of depth in the fandom. The only reason I'm covering this meme specifically is that I was actually name dropped in it, so that's why we're here today. I'm here to give a sentence or two on every single entry of each layer of the iceberg. As you know, icebergs are very small on the surface, but tend to have deep, girthy bellies below the waters. And so the further and further you get into any fandom, the larger it gets. There will be timestamps in the video for each section if you want to proceed to wherever you feel comfortable. See if you can test your knowledge, because there's a couple of these that even stumped me. Feel free to play along and comment below on which ones you didn't know and the ones that I might have missed. Reddit user. Reddit users have never seen JoJo but seem to recognize it in their feed. Kono Dioda. This is the classic JoJo meme where Dio steals a kiss from Jonathan's girlfriend Erina and bombastically proclaims, "It was me! Dio!" JoJo pose. Posing is an integral part of the JoJo experience. Many poses are used when characters are just speaking normal dialogue or summoning their stand abilities. To be continued. This is a mainstream classic meme and one of my personal favorites that originates from the ending of most chapters and episodes of JoJo. The accompaniment of Yes's roundabout happens to be in the end credits of the first season of JoJo. Is that a JoJo reference? This meme comes from an overused image template response to any quote, post, meme, or reference to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, with several memes from it. Giorno's theme. Giorno's theme, specifically 346, refers to the music that plays during a climactic event with the main character of JoJo Part 5, Golden Wind, Giorno Giovanna. The piano section is instantly recognizable. Casual viewer. Casual viewers instantly recognize JoJo memes and references in their feed, but have not fully caught up to the manga or anime yet. Araki doesn't age. Araki looks like he's in a perpetual state of being in his mid-40s, seemingly remaining immortally beautiful and young. Oh, you're approaching me. This is a reference to the words that start the final fight between Jotaro and Dio, where Dio is so confident in his abilities that he mocks Jotaro as he walks towards him. Zawaldo! This is what Dio and Jotaro shout before they stop time. Time stop is referred throughout much of JoJo's as the ultimate stand ability. Read the manga. This is a common trope in most fandoms when it comes to discourse between anime-onlys and manga readers. Manga readers are all caught up to date, and manga readers do know what they're talking about. So if you're an anime-only, you're definitely gonna enjoy the JoJo manga, because once you start consuming JoJo, you just can't stop getting enough of it. Don't skip parts. Part skipping is a seemingly prominent problem in the JoJo fandom, where certain people who don't know what they're talking about proclaim reading whatever part you want to read in whichever order, and people who care too much say you're not a real fan if you do so. I have a full video addressing this, so you can see my opinion there. 7-page Muda. This is the name of the most influential beatdown in JoJo history, in which Giorno defeats the penultimate opponent, Chocolata, in a Muda rush that spans 7 pages of the manga, plus 1 re. Average fan. Average fans are typically caught up with at least the anime and have explored the manga in some capacity. Speedwagon is best waifu. Because of Speedwagon's eternal dedication to the Joestar family, both in life and death, making him, in fact, best girl, this is a title that is well-deserved, only for the best of characters. Speedwagon has earned it. It just works. This refers to King Crimson's seemingly broken and confusingly explained ability to skip time. This ability has become easier to understand with the anime adaptations and other content creators expanding on this topic and explaining it directly. Duang. On the topic of scanlations, or fan translations of manga pages that are scanned, Duang is a reference to the most infamous and also seemingly wholesome bad translation translation of JoJo's fourth part, Diamond is Unbreakable. The town of Morio is constantly referred to as Duang instead of its real name, which leads to this hilarious scene with Kira. Jotaro dies in part 6. There's not much to explain here other than what it already states. It is a fact of JoJo's. It is happening. Oh, did I say spoilers? I guess this is sort of spoilers if you're new to the whole series. So stay at like the upper levels of the iceberg. Araki forgot. Araki forgot is something I want to forget forever. This meme, used to point out the plot holes in Araki's writing, has been used as an example of how he can be a bad writer. Only a loser would actually make a video about this. God, who's this Shuckmeister? Sounds like an asshole. Again, I have a whole series addressing this topic from multiple angles, so you can check those out because I'm done addressing it here. Deadly Queen. This is the first and one of the most infamous localized names. Since Japanese copyrights are more lax than the ones in the US, the majority of characters from JoJo are named after Western songs and artists. Official translations need to change the names of the characters to make them fly in the US, so the dub and the manga will change the names of stands and characters, such as turning Killer Queen into Deadly Queen. Hayato. When Kira looks down at Hayato, he makes this hilarious face, and this has been memed to all hell. Pizza mozzarella, pizza mozzarella, This is the song that Gyro Zappelli sings to Johnny Joestar in the 7th part of JoJo, Steel Ball Run, and it will surely be a hit in Europe. Moderate fan. Moderate fans have watched all of the JoJo anime and at least read parts 6 and 7. Clamp in Wonderland. This is an infamous doujinshi in which the all-female manga team known as Clamp created a part 3 special in which Jotaro and Kakyoin are married and Kakyoin lays an egg. I refuse. Daga kotowaru is the signature quote of Rohan Kishibe during the Highway Star fight, because Rohan does not like to give people what they want. Unzips dick. This is a manga panel of Bruno making a hilarious face referring to Sticky Finger's ability that you can unzip certain parts of your body, and, well, if you're uber horny, this is the meme you want to use. Traitor Fugo. Fugo is seen as a traitor to the game. Traitor Fugo seeks redemption from Giorno Giovanna after the events of Golden Wind in the light novel Purple Haze Feedback. Diesel. This American comic, by Joe Welchins, is a comic heavily inspired by JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Some consider it a ripoff. It's finally Friday. JoJo Friday is a weekly event during the anime airing. The episodes come out weekly on Fridays. Giorno in Part 6. During the Sky High fight in Part 6, Giorno is referenced in the character profile of Rikio. Some sources have claimed this was not in the original release of Part 6. Primo Mafioso. This is a reference to the Part 5 dub, because instead of Giorno's motivation to become a gangstar, the dub says Primo Mafioso. Again, I have a video on this topic, and merch as well, if you want to show your passione spirit. Lost Phantom Blood movie. I have an entire video dedicated to this topic, so basically to recap it, the team behind the original anime adaptation of Part 3 made and released a movie of the first part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Phantom Blood, that has never gotten a full release since its theater debut, but it has left a fascinating breadcrumb trail on why we never got to see it. Jotaro's High Noon. I thought I'd like to add one here. Jotaro's High Noon. Matthew Mercer voices both Jotaro Kujo and McCree from Overwatch. Since McCree says it's high noon during his ultimate, this line made it into the finale of the Jotaro vs. Dio fight during the dub of Part 3.
If this were the Wild West, the hero would say, it's high noon.
Hardcore fan. Hardcore JoJo fans have watched all the anime episodes and read the entire manga, even the parts that had already been animated. Smith-san. This is the name of the little pilot in Narancha's stand, Aerosmith. Post office in Part 2. After AC/DC ships the Redstone of Aja away from the main characters, in the manga of Part 2, Joseph has this funny interaction with the Venice post office. JoJo Lion. Part 8 of JoJo is called JoJolion, but despite it being named JoJo Lion, there has never been a lion drawn once in JoJolion, even when Araki had a chance to do it. I'm looking at you, Chapter 99. It is speculated that the lion will in fact be the main antagonist of this part. Enno Dio. Enno Dio is a reaction image that combines the villain of Sky Island from One Piece, Enno, with Dio. ALS Challenge. Araki himself did the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, where he takes a sip of his drink before being doused by cold water. Waldo in Part 3. While Dio is pursuing Joseph and Kakyoin during the final fight of Part 3, Waldo can be seen in the manga in a crowd of people who are being run over by Dio's car. Say Hi to Virginia. This sci-fi one-shot was written and illustrated by Araki, and from what I gather, it's about a bomb threat on a spaceship. Kira's coworker. One of Kira's coworkers is just a meme in Japan. This is peak Japanese comedy. I mean, I thought we were based. PS2 corruptions. This is a reference to the PS2 game for Vento Oreo, in which corruptions of the game led to a bunch of wacky hijinks. I love coconuts. This line, where Rubber Soul, the user of Yellow Temperance disguised as Kakyoin, says he loves coconuts. Tenmei Kakyoin. Kakyoin's first name was actually supposed to be Tenmei, but when the editors misread it and published it as Noriaki, it stuck. The Lives of Eccentrics. In this short series written by Araki, released between 1989 and 2003, it explores the lives of several famous people. Daisuke Ono JoJo merch collection. I'd like to add another one here. The Japanese voice actor of Jotaro Kujo, Daisuke Ono, is a huge JoJo nut and has a merch collection worth tens of thousands of dollars just dedicated to JoJo merch. JoJo Expert. JoJo experts know most of the ins and outs of JoJo, including the very obscure knowledge that someone who just read the material wouldn't know. Alex Rider. This is a series of spy novels Araki did the illustrations for. Love Note. This is the stand of Joe Kujo, a hypothetical son of Jotaro Kujo and Shoko Nakagawa, the idol who interviewed Araki dressed as Jotaro. This stand is inspired by the Death Note. Enormous Rat. This is a reference to the disgusting proportions of bug eaten in part 4 during the Let's Go Hunting arc. Morio Tourist. Tourism is the main source of income for Moriocho, and I honestly don't know. Like, I get that it's based off of Sendai, but I never really saw it as the pinnacle of Japanese luxury and relaxation. Muda.swf. This stick figure animation is from the early 2000s and is considered the first exposure the West got to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It is a reference to Dio's abilities. The Bottle. This one-shot was written and illustrated by Araki, and it was #1 of Shonen Jump's first issue of 1978. This basically got his into working at Shonen Jump. Roses in Heritage for the Future. Roses is the butler of Suzuki in part 3, and in the game's Secret Files, there's concept artwork for Roses to be a playable character, as well as the Pillarman. Skywalker Sound. The sound effects team from the Star Wars movie were actually signed on to doing the sound effects for the Lost Phantom Blood movie. 300 plus unused Speedwagon narration voice lines in Eyes of Heaven. In the game files of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven, there are many voice lines of characters that didn't make it into the final game, such as Part 6 Jotaro, Hot Pants, and Speedwagon, who clocks in with over 300 of them. This makes sense because Speedwagon is one of the most prominent cast members in the campaign. Eternal Come. This is not, in fact, a reference to Whitesnake's Coom abilities from Part 6, but actually to this. Eternal Come, WS_JJ/S66-070CR for 80 yen. Something to do with Diablo being in the infinite Coom loop. Space Ripper Stingy Eyes in Part 3. You may think that Dio didn't actually use many of his vampiric abilities during the fight against Jotaro, but in Part 3, according to Heritage for the Future, Dio is able to use his laser eyes, also known as Space Ripper Stingy Eyes, as a special when your stand is off. Shuckmeister Fan. This tier is definitely where I belong, but I'm not sure if all of my fans are up to snuff just yet. Hopefully this video has been insightful enough to maybe put you in this tier of knowledge, and I'd like to give my special thanks to Morgan for including me on this list of obscure oddities. I really appreciate it, and it helps me remember why I love this community so much. Wilson Phillips. Mario. Senator Phillips is a political figure in JoJo that Dio manipulates in Part 3 and is referenced in Part 6. This ties into Mario. This is the name of the janitor that Black Sabbath kills when Giorno is trying to pass Popo's lighter challenge. He was also the voice of Wilson Phillips in the OVA, Charles Martinet. Ryusuke Kabashima. This is the name of Araki's first editor, who worked with him from 1979 to 1992, which is the entirety of the first 3 parts of JoJo. Girls by Night. This piece of literature is the best part of Stone Ocean. Take it from me, I know what I'm talking about. And it details the deep, intimate, passionate relationship between Jolene and Hermes, which wasn't expressed fully in the manga. And nothing more. There's nothing more to this. It's just great, and you should all read it. Oh god. Strongman Front. Strongman Front is a popular Taiwanese manga series written by Fei Yang Huang and was first published by Tong Li Comics. There are 8 parts to this series. Part 1, Demon Adventures. Part 2, Fighting Tide. Part 3, Stardust Expeditionary Force. Part 4, Duang is Not Crash. Part 5, Boys Battle Journey. Part 6, Summer Colored Miracle. Part 7, Blue Tusk Adventures. And Part 8, Strong Manglion. In all seriousness, this is from the Chinese publisher for JoJo's. Clamp Stoner Kakyoin. I mentioned the Clamp team before. At some point, they actually drew Kakyoin as a stoner. So, there you go, Pothead Kak. It's what you always wanted. Fan love letter to Straitso. After Straitso was killed during the running of Part 2's manga, Araki-sensei got a letter from a fangirl saying that she was upset that her precious husbando had died. Beta colored scans. There's a few old flash animations of Steel while run that I've actually used in my videos before. The colors from these animations is what Shueisha eventually used to color the scans of Part 7, with a few noticeable differences, like Red D4C and Golden Ticket to Ride. Hot Pants cleavage. This comes from the 8th volume cover of Steel Ball Run, where the original spread shows Hot Pants' chest area open, but in the volume release, it's covered by the Steel Ball Run logo. Need strong pillar GF. Based on height comparisons between Giorno, Lisa, and Cars, the ideal height of your big titty Ara pillar woman can be determined. Truly a meme for the great minds to comprehend. Torokichi. This is Guess's nickname for Jolene during the Chinese publication of Stone Ocean. No abandon. This tagline comes from the editors from when JoJo's was first being serialized in Shonen Jump. Some of these taglines are so recognizable that they've actually been parodied in other manga. Jotaro Dolphin Greek Isekai. I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention the best anime of 2020. The anime you wouldn't be a true Shuckmeister fan if you did not see, and that is Jotaro Dolphin Greek Isekai. Extra Olympia Kiklos is one of the greatest stop-motion projects I've seen, starring Jotaro's VA Daisuke Ono and his sidekick and best girl, a dolphin. Once again, I have a full video on that topic, so definitely check that out. Heaven Ascended. This is the final tier of JoJo knowledge, with examples so obscure that even I don't know where some of them were from. I still have much to learn before I finally reach heaven. Buichi Terasawa. He's one of Araki's major inspirations and was behind Goku Midnight and Cobra. Sans Mariah. This image actually comes from the OP of this iceberg format, in which Sans and Mariah are combined into one super being. 2005 April Fool's Steel Ball Run anime announcement. After the original Part 3 anime adaptation, but before the Phantom Blood movie, fake images of Steel Ball Run getting animated were leaked onto the internet. Something similar would be the recent fake Purple Haze feedback anime images that were shared on Twitter. Lisa's puffy nipples. For some unknown reason, Araki chose to draw Lisa wearing her turtleneck pulled up over her mouth, the red stone necklace around her, looking good so far, and these huge puffy hentai proportion nipples. I really don't know what this man was thinking, but you know, he be doing what he doing. Couture Issue Girl. When fighting Bucciarati, Seko mistakes the Couture Issue Girl for Bruno because of the similar hairstyle. It also appears in the PS2 game, with Mysterious Part 6 styled in the portrait that many people have not been able to find the source of just yet. Bengus Heritage for the Future Art. Bengus is the artist from Street Fighter who also happened to do some artwork for the JoJo fighting game Heritage for the Future. Hold on, Dragon's Dream and Yo-Yo Ma are actually good? This is the point of the list in which I realize I will never be Heaven Ascended, because only half of this statement is true. Yo-Yo Ma is in fact good. Dragon's Dream is in fact still terrible. Like, I get what Araki was trying to do, subverting the typical stand fight format so you have an ability that levels the playing field for everyone, including the user, but I just don't think it works well in practice because it requires this huge exposition dump to actually know what's going on. But Yo-Yo Ma is still great. I thought it was funny. I thought he's my second favorite masochist right after Darkness from Konosuba, so yeah. Maybe I can make it almost to the bottom of the iceberg, but not quite just yet. And that was the JoJo Iceberg Explained. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Morgan, for creating this list. All the links are in the description that you need to follow. I hope you all stick around for more new content. This is probably going to be the last video of the year, since I'm currently working on the Jotaro vs. Dio stop motion, and another big project that will have a very special announcement tied to the end of it. Until then, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button harder than Horus's icicle crash attack. Turn on all notifications so you know when I'm putting out new content. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Duang, and I'll see you all next year.